Jackie, you said we were supposed to keep it light. That's my way of keeping it light. So.
And all the way from Edmonton, Alberta, Jeff Reynolds, our membership chair.
Good evening, everyone.
And I'm PDG Jackie from the Rotary Club of Edmonton West. We've got a great turnout tonight. We've got lots of clubs represented, and I'm thrilled because we know that membership is top of mind on everybody's agenda. So let's get started with our webinar. Our focus tonight, of course, is on growing Rotary, Rotary's #1 internal priority, and I guess we all know what the external priority is, polio. I hope that you've all had a chance to review Chapter 5 in Lead Your District, the Club President Manual. Have you been able to track down the membership profile of your club and your club's 5-year membership history? This becomes a starting place for you in your planning. And of course, we talked about planning last webinar, and that was the essential job of the club president-elect. Yes, our first webinar out just 1 month ago focused on roles and responsibilities of the president-elect, as well as planning, goal setting, and evaluating goals. If you missed this webinar, the recording is posted on the district website. Our district governor-elect, Jim, introduced us to Rotary's new strategic vision and plan. And it truly is a powerful statement, as well as the 4 priorities that will guide our work in the district. Tonight, we will provide some updates on membership, as well as some ideas for your consideration as you begin to think about your leadership role ahead. One of the most important tasks ahead of you is to form a membership committee. Secondly, assess your club. Find out what your club members are interested in, find out their satisfaction level, and think about doing a health check. That is a great activity for you in your president-elect year. Improve our diversity. We need to up our number of female members, and of course, young professionals. Attracting new members and engaging the ones we have are certainly top of mind. Please make sure as you look at Chapter 5 in your club president's manual, that you look at the responsibilities with respect to membership for the president-elect, things you need to begin working on now, as well as responsibilities of the president. These you will find on page 37 and 38. Of special note is the second on the list for club president on flexibility and attracting young professionals. For sure you want to, as president-elect, and I've mentioned this already, assess your club's membership and analyze the trends. Assess your member satisfaction with your team and increase your club flexibility where needed. Set your annual membership goals in Rotary Club Central and align your goal with the district goals. Now I will turn it over to our district governor-elect, Jim, who will bring us up to date on the status of membership worldwide. Welcome, Jim.
Thanks, Jackie. Hi again, everyone. Over the past 5 years, we've remained at about 1.2 million members. Although we experienced a slight decrease last year, overall our membership is still strong. To accomplish all the good in the world that we want to do, we need a commitment and a continued emphasis on growing Rotary and Rotaract from our club, district, and zone leaders. Keeping Rotary relevant and thriving into our second century while continuing to enhance our members' lives, requires a willingness to be innovative, seek out diversity, and adapt to changing needs. As you look at the information on this slide, think about your own club. Does your membership reflect the diversity in the community you serve? When our membership is diverse, it makes our clubs more vibrant and helps members understand and respond to the needs of the community. Diversity is one of our core values. The RI Board of Directors passed a diversity, equity, and inclusion statement to help us become a more open and inclusive organization. The statement is, Rotary will cultivate a diverse, equitable, and inclusive culture in which people from underrepresented groups have greater opportunity to participate as members and leaders. Let's talk about Rotaract. The 2019 Council on Legislation amended our constitutional documents to include Rotaract clubs as members in Rotary International. This action elevates Rotaract and positions Rotary for a future that's innovative, inclusive, and better able to adapt to the world around us. This has been an incredible year for Rotaract. More than 1,200 new Rotaract clubs were chartered during the 2018 to 2019 Rotary year. There are now over 10,000 Rotaract clubs and more than 170,000 reported members globally. In the past 10 years, we've seen a change in the regional makeup of our Rotary membership. In Asia, for example, more than 50,000 people have joined clubs since 2014. It now has about 32% of the world's Rotarians. Japan, after many years of decline, has not only slowed its losses, but is beginning to gain. Unfortunately, during the same period, Canada, the Caribbean, and the United States together lost over 50,000 members, dropping from 32% of all Rotarians to 28%. One way we can grow and strengthen our membership is by delivering value to our customers. It can be the difference between someone who stays in Rotary for just 3 years and someone who stays for a lifetime. Here's what people in each region value most. This slide shows us a profile of things at home in District 5370. General membership trend. Currently, we have 60 clubs and 2,021 members. We can see that we are doing well attracting more female members. Our retention of new and existing members is below the world average, and we are getting older. Rotary doesn't have a problem generating interest in membership. More than 158,000 people joined this year. But as you can see, an almost equal number of people left, and half of those who leave were members for less than 3 years. Before they join, 90% of prospective members have very positive impressions of Rotary and were inspired by our history and mission. Yet after they join, only 44% still anticipate being lifelong members. And only half of our current members would recommend Rotary to their friends, families, and colleagues. So what's happening or not happening between when they join and when they leave? Now I'll turn things over to past District Governor Laura to explore further.
Hi, Laura. Can you unmute yourself?
There you go. Hi,
Maybe the microphones are cold in Westlock.
Yeah, rub it in. Yeah. So according to a study conducted by Rotary International, 34% of former members cited cost or time as the #1 reason they leave. RI President Mark Maloney reminds us that the job of a Rotarian should never be seen as a time commitment too great for a busy professional to consider. Otherwise, we're closing the door to the contributions of the people we need most in Rotary. the ones with the potential for decades of Rotary service and leadership. So we need to meet these people right where they are, at whatever stage of life they are in, and welcome them. Take the example of a young club president who set Rotary work hours for herself. She dedicates time on Tuesdays and Thursdays to Rotary work, giving her the ability to focus, brainstorm, and do long-term planning. Makes her more effective, provides the balance she needs in Rotary and her career, and ultimately makes her more passionate about her work as club president. Many departing members also cite the club environment and say their expectations weren't met. Imagine being excited to be a Rotarian only to discover that the experience you were promised wasn't available. One former member says, "If I was given my club constitution at the beginning and had clearly understood what was expected of me, I wouldn't have joined." Bringing in more members to replace the ones we lose isn't the answer. We need to be honest with potential members about our club experience if we hope to change these numbers. And we need to be flexible so we can accommodate the needs of our members and the community. Clubs have more freedom than ever to structure themselves in ways that work for every member now. There is a club for everyone, and if there isn't one in your community, we need to create one. So why Rotary? What do we offer that's unique? Here's what current members said. Rotary is a worldwide organization with the power to make meaningful change. It affords a platform for personal growth and development, quality friendships, leadership development, and the opportunity to give back to the society. What's encouraging is that these responses reflect our vision statement, and members clearly understand the value of Rotary. When we look at what potential and current members value most, some interesting trends appear. Both list that participating in service projects to positively impact the community as the opportunity they value most. But potential members also want to make change globally and foster their careers through professional development and networking. Current members, however, value community service, friendship, and fellowship, and connecting with people outside their work and social circle. Even when both groups cite making a positive impact through service as their top reason for joining or staying. They each have different motivations. If these desires aren't met, they may no longer have a reason to say yes to Rotary. Our research shows us that prospective members are looking for opportunities to grow personally and professionally, and Rotary offers them that. Consider the Rotarian who was terrified of public speaking and trembled her way through her first 5-minute speech. She was later asked to speak at an institute in front of 500 people and now trains others in public speaking. Think of the member who counts her experience in Rotary as why she attained a new job as a community engagement manager. She said, "I wouldn't have gotten it if I wasn't a part of Rotary." You don't have to offer a formal professional development strategy for members to achieve their goals. Every service project or event you hold is a chance for someone to lead and grow. Members can also take online courses through Rotary's Learning Center, or you can hold a leadership in action session for club members and your community. Find information for creating your own leadership in action session on myrotary.org. The next time someone asks you about Rotary, you can say, "You'll achieve more than you ever thought possible, and you won't be doing it alone." If someone walked into your club meeting uninvited, but curious to learn more, what would they find? Would they be warmly welcomed? Would your members appear engaged? Would they leave understanding who you are and how you're helping your community? And would someone follow up with them to see what they thought about the experience? One of the most important things we can do is assess our clubs regularly and make sure they're welcoming to prospective members. If you find that your club needs to improve, Rotary offers a multitude of resources to help, and you can find them at rotary.org/membership. And you should remember this address, write it down, take a picture of it, and visit as often as you need to. So how
Jackie,
many?
excuse me.
Yes.
Jackie, if you want to launch the poll, please.
Okay. Oh, I don't have the right question here.
Okay, there's a drop-down menu.
Oh, okay. Sorry, everybody. I'm a newbie at this. Slide 18. Okay, so just to follow up on Laura's question, we do have a little poll question for you. And we're hoping that lots of you have been online to check out rotary.org/membership to look at some of the tools on membership. Wow, that's pretty impressive. We do have a lot of tools at our fingertips to address all of the questions that you have made comments on in your registration, from attraction, engagement, developing a healthy club. So yes, please remember to and here are the results.
Well, that's wonderful. So
That's great.
Laura, did you want to make a comment?
yes. Well, I'm really happy to see that there's quite a few tools there. I mean, maybe not everyone is appropriate for every club, but drilling down to manage the expectations, because clearly Rotary and Rotary clubs and members, it's about relationships and managing expectations. I'm sure there's going to be some valuable tools that you can find in myrotary.org. So I'm going to turn things over to my colleague, Ken Thiessen. He's in Zone 24 West and from the Rotary Club of Regina.
Well, hello, everybody from the land of the living skies. With more than 50 resources available to you at rotary.org/membership, finding the one that meets your needs can seem like a challenge. Earlier this year, we developed a new resource called the Club Planning Assistant. This interactive tool asks a series of simple questions and then recommends resources for addressing those specific challenges. In fact, we were so excited about this that we invited every club president and membership chair in the world to take it and share with us their biggest membership challenges. The majority listed attracting new members as their biggest challenge, but many also said that accommodating the needs of prospective and current members, busy schedules, family or financial obligations, etc., was a challenge too. Addressing both of these challenges effectively requires us to think differently and adapt to change more quickly. Bringing in more members than we lose is not the answer, but there is one opportunity that all clubs and districts should pay closer attention to. Membership candidates are prospective members who use Rotary's website and come through rotary.org, and they join to express interest in joining a club. A notice of their interest is sent to the district, and district and club leaders can track these notices through the Manage Membership Leads page on My Rotary. Last year, 19,500 people contacted Rotary this way. Unfortunately, clubs contacted less than a third of the prospective members assigned to them last year. In fact, in places that experienced the highest decline in membership, an equally high percentage of member leads were never contacted. Managing prospect members is an opportunity. The second challenge club leaders mentioned is accommodating the varied needs of these members. If your current structure is working, there's no need to change it, but clubs actually have more freedom than ever to create an experience that works for their current and prospective members. Clubs around the world are taking advantage of this flexibility. Here are some ways clubs are meeting the diverse needs of their members and their communities. Starting a satellite club to give qualified people who can attend club meetings a chance to join Rotary. Changing how, when, and how often clubs meet. Some examples are meeting just twice a month, switching from a sit-down meal to a less formal and less likely, less expensive gathering, or replacing a regular meeting with a social event or service project. Offering a new membership type, for example, family memberships. Offering a corporate membership to attract multiple members of the same company. Or an associate membership for younger professionals or other people who want an option that costs less or requires less time. There are multiple frameworks for establishing these clubs, meeting online to attract members who can't attend in-person meetings. Our collective goal is to grow Rotary through flexible club and member opportunities. There are also cause-based clubs to attract and engage members who are passionate about a specific issue, like water or peace. So Edmonton Glenora focuses on women and children. Edmonton Northeast and Athabasca champion for children and youth. You can find more information at www.rotary.org/flexibility. And check out these resources. Rotary's done an incredible job of adding a lot of really good resources on the website, and check them out. So what can you do with all of this information, especially if some of it is new to you? I suggest 3 things. Take time to understand membership data and trends in your region. We can offer you a global look at the state of membership, but Rotary Club Central makes it easy for you to see the trends closest to you. Ask members what matters most to them. Find out what they value, what they might be missing, and what they need to stay a member for life, and make sure you deliver that. Finally, visit rotary.org/membership for resources to support you. Whether you need access to club assessments, directions on how to manage your membership leads, or even guidelines for starting new clubs and membership types, there's likely a resource designed to help. When people join a Rotary Club, their potential to make a difference in the world grows exponentially. That's because they're joining a network of over 1.2 million people who take action, volunteers from all over the world who share a goal of improving people's lives. Let's see how this looks. So with that, we'll turn it back to you, Jim, if you want to hit the video.
Possibilities are all around us. Everywhere we look, we see opportunity. We see potential in unexpected places. And when we share our ideas with others, we know they'll see it too. And bring new perspectives. Lend unique skills. And take action in the communities all around the world that we call home. When people come together, that's when real change happens. Like transforming an old bus to feed hungry children, or providing life-saving equipment to those who need it most. From fighting disease to rebuilding schools, we turn what we see into what we've done. We are people of action. Get involved at Rotary.org.
Today, those connections are a network that span the globe, bridging cultural, linguistic, generational, and geographic barriers. It shares the vision of a better world. As people of action, we understand that fulfilling that vision requires a plan. This is Rotary's plan for the next 5 years: to increase our impact, expand our reach, enhance participant engagement, and increase our ability to adapt. Now back to you, Laura.
Yes, so let's see how we can turn these priorities into action. And we'll look at in a little more detail each one of these. So increase our impact, our first action plan priority, and our actions will answer these questions. What will our legacy be? How can we define and measure our impact? How can we do more good in the world? Rotarians are effective problem solvers who create solutions that last because we invest in relationships, what all the leadership books today call building social capital. We know how to mobilize our networks, and we are constantly learning from our experiences as we participate in clubs, volunteer in projects, and manage our careers. Throughout the fight to end polio, we've shown what we can do when we draw on our collective strengths. We've created solutions customized for the people they serve. We've evaluated the results to learn from our successes and setbacks, and we've forged partnerships with global health partners. When we found that infrastructure was missing, we built it. So this is our legacy, and it's also a model we will use again and again in pursuit of our goals: educating the world's children, ensuring equitable access to water and sanitation, helping local economies grow sustainably, and so much more. But in a data-driven world, legacies must be measurable. To increase our impact and provide even more proof of what Rotarians are capable of achieving, we have to be more data-driven. This kind of measurement is a best practice in every sector. You probably do something like it in your own profession. And we know that current and potential partners, as well as younger Rotarians, want to see hard proof of the impacts. By documenting the metrics of our good works, we get a clear picture of results. We learn how to replicate and scale up our successes, and we can tell more compelling stories about the good we do. There's a lot we can do at the club level too. We're going to encourage a greater sense of focus. Instead of clubs trying to do too many things and getting only halfway there, we're going to help clubs collect more information on community impact and do pre and post activity evaluations so that they can tell these compelling stories about the impact that they are making. Together, we can make that impact on the world, and it has only just begun.
So thank you, Laura. We'd like to just take a pause for a moment and hear from you and what you're doing in your club. If you want to shout out, I'd get Jim to unmute you, or just put up your hand, or let us know in the chat box that you would like to comment. I think that this is going to be our discussion well into this year about how we
No, that's my computer. We want to see it.
There, that's what they want to see.
Oh, and we got somebody sharing. Well, I'll start with an idea from my own club in Edmonton West. Traditionally, we've been very diligent about taking attendance, and we still take attendance just to keep track of our members. But we're doing something a little bit different this year, and it's quite incredible. Now we record hours of service on a weekly basis. So when a member comes in to sign into our weekly meeting, we have a record sheet where we just ask people to jot down the number of hours of volunteer service that they have made in that week. And the president reports these numbers on a PowerPoint slide at every meeting. And it truly is amazing the impact that we are, as a fairly small, not a large club, we have a big reach. But I'd be interested to hearing from you. Any other comments or ideas?
Hi, Jackie. Ellen, I've got a quick question. As we heard in Hamburg at the International Convention last June, the roll-up of all those service hours are recorded through Rotary Central by RI to get an aggregate of all of the service hours done by all the clubs around the world. So with your club, when you have people sign in and report those hours, is somebody recording each service project and their hours as it is in Rotary Central?
Absolutely, but it's a different kind of it's a different kind of record keeping. But yes, those hours get translated into Rotary Club Central at some point. Thank you for that comment, Marilyn. Good reminder for all of us. Okay.
It's Elmer.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi, Elmer. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say with our club, sorry, I'm not on I don't have a camera going on this computer, but you can hear me?
Yes.
Anyway, what we've talked about just quickly is that to help build our membership, we're asking our Rotarians over the next year to bring at least 2 guests to our weekly meetings. You know, that bring 2 people that may be interested, that are interested, and introduce them to the club as a guest. And from there, then work with them. Do you want to become a Rotarian? And tell them more about Rotary. But initially, this is a way of introducing it to more people in our community that essentially might become members. So another thing we talked about is we used to do luncheons. You know, we have morning meetings here. And so it's 7 o'clock in the morning. It's pretty early for a lot of people. So we tried a couple of noon hour luncheons. We moved to a different location. We promoted it. And we found we weren't drawing potential members by doing that. It was sort of the same old. We just changed locations for a meeting. So we're going to work on that a little more. And what we've decided is we want to bring in a dynamic speaker, someone from the community that's involved in Rotary, and we have someone in mind, and bring them to a breakfast meeting. And the purpose being, come and have breakfast, but speak to us about Rotary and how it impacts what he does or she does. So we want to try to bring the community business people. You know, they're the ones that talk to others and say, well, maybe someone should be getting involved there a little more, you know? So that's something we're doing, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, keep us posted on that. Absolutely. I think we're going to continue on and look at the second priority, and we're going to invite our membership chair, Jeff Reynolds, to jump in.
You bet. Thanks very much, Jackie. As Jackie mentioned, our second action plan priority is to expand our reach so that we can grow our capacity to make an impact. People of action activate, inspire, and give others hope that they can be part of the change that makes the world better. Together, we must answer these 3 questions. How can we share our values with new audiences? How can we inspire more people to take action? And what new models can we test to bring people together to experience the power of Rotary? So let's start with those who have already shown an enthusiasm for Rotary, and I'm talking about Rotaractors. They're energetic, passionate, and driven community-minded professionals. They're critical to the future of Rotary, and that's why we're conducting research with them to find out what they want from Rotary and how we can attract others like them. At the corporate level, we're developing new products and alternative participant models, so regardless of where people live, they can join us and take action with us. At the club level, we need to actively invest in bringing in more people from different backgrounds. There are so many ways to create new channels into Rotary, bringing family members to events, involving local Rotaractors, updating clubs' websites and social media pages. There are all sorts of leaders in communities, and we want those leaders to be connected to Rotary. So let's open up our thinking about who a leader can be and then reach out to these people. Let's start a dialogue and how we can mutually benefit from their participation in our activities and events. Here's another way to revitalize our clubs and share our values with new audiences. Form partnerships with new organizations and agencies. Already, Rotary clubs partner with schools and universities, the local Chamber of Commerce, local governments, social service agencies, and other volunteer organizations. That's great and fantastic, but we need to encourage every club to do more to collaborate with others and involve their communities in a direct way. Let's look around our communities and see all the ways that people are connecting through shared professional goals, for example, or shared cultures and interests. And let's invite those people to connect with us too. When we think beyond traditional partnerships, we show that we're an open, engaging organization and we want to be relevant for the long term. We demonstrate that positive change starts with welcoming the talents and ideas of others. Together, let's build connections and opportunities that will allow people who share our drive to do the same. Now I'll turn things back to our moderator, Jackie.
Thank you, Jeff. And I know, Laura, you had some thoughts about reaching people who are visible in the community. Do you want to share some of your ideas?
My thoughts is that you know, our membership already know people that are actively engaged in building community, and whether that's through sports activities, child rearing and educational opportunities. Everybody in your club already knows people that know the value of building community. And I just wanted to put that out there, because if they were invited to participate either in projects or special events that your club is putting on, they could see probably the value of leveraging a relationship with Rotary and possibly joining.
So Laura, I'm a retired teacher and principal, and we tend not to have a lot of teacher type people in our Rotary clubs just because of the hours in which clubs meet. And so I think that we have a real opportunity to look at and expand our reach to those professions that find it difficult to join our clubs simply because of the time of our meetings and so forth. But I think that we have lots of opportunities to reach into schools that are hubs in our communities.
We also we touch people through our interact clubs. Those are parents that are that have a vested interest in their children's success. They already are warm to Rotary, and there's no reason why we can't get them involved in doing the projects.
Absolutely, and I think we have to remember alumni, because we have all invested lots of dollars and time into supporting young people to learn more about Rotary and participate in events. Jim, unless there's any other comments, I'm going to turn it back to Ken.
Jackie, can I just make a comment on this?
Yeah, please.
Our club has done, the Rotary Club of Regina, is we've had our police chief speak at a number of our meetings, and as we've observed him, our board said, you know what, here's a person in our community who lives the Rotary four-way test and who emulates service above self. And so we have made our police chief an honorary member of our Rotary Club.
Well, that's pretty brilliant. And you know, a really good strategy is to think about potential members who you would like to attract to your club and invite them in to be speakers, or as Ken says, honorary members, even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just have a couple comments here. Sorry. One from
Okay, go
Sean
ahead.
Draper, saying that whenever you do service projects, please make sure that you try to promote them on social media. And from Marilyn, talking about younger member prospects that may not have time in their workday to attend a meeting. So perhaps try an after work session or social. So flexibility as well is key, and promotion.
Thanks for that, Jim. Okay, I think we're going to turn it back to Ken for a look at our third action plan priority. Ken?
So our third action plan priority is to enhance participant engagement. Our actions will answer these questions. How can we make sure Rotarians find long-term value in their membership? And what would improve the Rotary experience? What skills could people learn through Rotary? And how can we better develop our leaders? And those of you who are in Hamburg will have heard that Rotary has signed a memorandum of understanding with Toastmasters. And most people think of Toastmasters as a public speaking tool, but actually a hidden gem that Toastmasters has is they have an incredible online leadership development program. And so Rotary and Toastmasters are working together on putting together some leadership development programs specifically for Rotary, and I think they're starting with actually Rotaractors, and I think that's a huge value add for younger professionals who want to develop as leaders, and this is something that Rotary can offer them. And then once they get the training, then the challenge at the club level is to make sure that we give them opportunities to be involved. As people of action, we strive to understand the needs of others, but just like the people and communities we serve, our fellow members need to know that they are seen, heard, and valued. They're seeking experiences that feel personally and professionally relevant and fulfilling, and in some cases, we're not delivering on that need. This priority is aimed at making sure that we give our members meaningful opportunities to evolve and grow with us personally and professionally throughout their lives. But let's not stop with our members. We want to improve the overall Rotary experience for anyone who affiliates with us, and we should take nothing for granted. We need to look at every encounter as an opportunity to show our people what Rotary can do for them as individuals and as members of our community. Let's create the space for members, participants, and the community at large to provide regular feedback on their experiences and needs. Let's not wait for a community need to present itself to us. Let's be proactive and become known as the people who spot opportunities for positive change that no one else sees. And let's take a hard look at what happens when people volunteer with us or attend our events. Are we doing everything we can to say, we're thankful you're here, you matter to us? Together, let's recommit to putting the needs, expectations, and growth of our participants at the center of all we do.
Perfect, and we'll just turn it over to Jeff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure. Thanks very much, Ken and Jim. And I want to underscore the importance of engagement. And I'm sort of going to go off script here for a little bit. In that engagement is something that I'm very personally passionate about, and have been doing a lot of work at the district level with membership engagement surveys. And for all the district governor or the assistant governors on the line, and some of the club president-elects who would have got greater than 50% participation in the engagement survey, there's a tremendous resource customizable to each club as to what your members are saying, what they think engages them, what they think doesn't engage them. For us to be really, really successful at this whole membership thing, it's got to be authentic, it's got to be real, and we all have to listen to our members and get those conversations going. Throughout the presentation tonight, we've been talking about the tools and whatnot. I definitely encourage you to seek those out, but honest one-on-one or club conversations on ongoing relevance for your club are so important. We don't want to take our members for granted. We talk about, bringing people in all the time, but the people who are already contributing, we want to make sure that they are that they're respected. So as mentioned before, our fourth action plan priority is the ability to adapt and stay relevant. Our actions will answer these questions. How can we adapt faster to a changing world? How can new perspectives strengthen Rotary? And what new ideas could create lasting change? As Rotarians, we are inventive, entrepreneurial, and resilient, and that's why we're people of action. And because we share those qualities, new approaches to our organizing principles won't threaten the sense of who we are. It's our time to seek out fresh opportunities, to embrace innovative ideas, and take calculated risks. We must create more paths to leadership, welcome new voices, and simplify how we operate. We're already tackling some of the big operational issues, and we're looking at governance models, committee structures, business processes at the secretariat level, and more. Everything is on the table. Now, many of you have been through this kind of deep dive into internal processes in your own companies and organizations. You know it's not glamorous, but you also know it's absolutely essential if we want to create a strong foundation for innovation, sustainability, and growth. We would also encourage our clubs to take a fresh look at club governance and look at ways to streamline it. They can create a fund to take some risks and try out new activity ideas. They can host the club meeting in a new location and at a different time. They can involve non-Rotarian advisors in club board meetings and to gain new and different perspectives and ideas and more engagement from the community. Now I'd like to turn it back to our moderator, Jackie.
Thank you, Jeff. And we do have a pretty dedicated group of Rotarians in our district serving on the membership committee under Jeff's leadership. And so please don't forget about those people. Don't forget about your assistant governors. There are lots of people that would happily take you out for coffee and sit down and talk about some of these issues. Jim, do you have any more comments from people that, or questions?
Not so much for questions. There's a comment from Sean Draper, whatever happened to the Rotary Leadership Institute? He said he attended 2 sessions in the old District 5370 office, but haven't seen or heard of any other offerings. So has the district moved away from RLI? Good question. I know a few years ago they had the Rotary Leadership Institute. I think that it's been pretty stagnant for the last while. Maybe Marilyn, you know something about it?
I do. Thanks, Jim. We took a look at the Rotary Leadership Institute curriculum with a view to try and make it more attainable for attendees within our district. And so we looked at an online offering. We thought, rather than reinventing the wheel, let's check with other districts that have done it. And I don't know the exact district number, but it's Chris Offer's district in BC. They did do an online session, and they said it really wasn't that successful. And one thing that we learned when we looked at the curriculum is that it's really out of date. So RLI is not sanctioned by RI, for number one. It was something that's developed in North America. And now with the new learning management system that Rotary has rolled out, which is smaller snippets of training by role and by theme that you can take at any time, anywhere, when you're able to, is really a substitute for RLI. So that's why our district and others are not necessarily offering it in the old format that it was offered.
Super. Thanks, Marilyn.
And can I just comment too, Jim? Our district 5550, we pulled out of RLI for exactly the same reason. So with the feedback we were getting is that the curriculum was obsolete, and there were attempts to get RLI to update the curriculum, and there was resistance there. And with the new learning modules that are coming out of the Rotary Learning Center and then Toastmasters, our district just said, you know what? It's not worth it. It's not a good use of our resources, and with what's coming and what RI has made available, we'd rather use that stuff and do some of our own stuff as well.
And there's a huge amount they're going to on Rotary.org. So that's sort of the central area for pretty well everything right now.
And those,
sorry?
and those modules are housed in what they call the Learning Center, as Marilyn alluded to. And it's quite a rich resource for all of us. And it's directly from Rotary International, and you can do it at your own pace, on your own time. I also think those modules would be super to have show in small groups, to get a small group of people together and learn together.
So there's a question from Mark Dixon, probably for Jeff. What is the recommended timing for a club engagement survey? Now I know we did, Jeff did a survey in the spring. Was it, Jeff?
Yeah, we've done it twice now, and sort of at generally in the spring with a kind of a guide or with an eye to allow new incoming executives to use it as a planning tool. But based on participation, we actually let this survey go throughout the summer and into the fall. And I'm personally of the view that any time is a good time because it's it's a point in space assessment of where your clubs are, and it's handy. I don't think there's any specific time that's better than any other than when people are not around their computers. But yeah,
So,
I'm not sure if that's helpful. I think just having the conversation at any time is helpful.
Yeah, Jeff, just to springboard off your comments, there are club assessment tools. There are 5 of them that can be customized to be used at any time. I have seen them used in club meetings where you would just take a page and people would work in groups or individually, but it's really important to really get feedback from your members. So I agree with you, Jeff. It's do those health checks at any time, but remember the club assessment tools because they provide valuable information. And as you, as president-elect, are building your plan for the coming year, you really need a base. You need to know who's interested in what and what their passions and interests are, and to go from there.
Thanks,
So
thanks,
yeah.
Jackie. We have a question from Dennis, or a comment from Dennis Radburn.
Yes, I just wanted to touch base on a couple of things. Talking to Jeff, last spring I'd mentioned that when the survey comes out for all the clubs and that, it's coming as Jeff Reynolds, PHF, and a lot of times they don't, people don't know who it is. And so I think that it has to come out that way, Jeff. So probably a personal email to the president-elect and the president, serving president, saying that this survey is coming out so that they can let their people know. And that's where we wound up getting the last 2 years. We've 2 surveys. Why we wound up getting enough people to be good statistics on that. So that's just a comment there with regards to that. I think RI now has made with the satellite clubs and all these, passport clubs, all these types of things, they've made where we are able to just about pick any time of day to have a meeting that kind of accommodates potential new members. And so, I think we have to do like we said about the members that have left over the years, saying, there's new rules, there's new flexibility, there's all this type of stuff to re-engage those. And also, another point is that there is a movement coming, as Jim could and Marilyn could probably associate, is working on exit interviews where we're looking at having the AGs that maybe assist clubs in doing exit interviews of people that have left to find out, so we can all kind of help each other and retain members, as well as know that those are the things why we lose members. So those are my 3 kind of comments.
Thank you, Dennis. And Dennis from the Fairview.
Jackie?
Yes.
I see that there, in 2 different ways that this question was asked. So do we have stats tracking members through the various levels of Rotary? Rotary International does not maintain the information of young people under 18 for various reasons, privacy. It might be something that is just done at the club level. We do have some statistics about our RILA participants and ripen, and we do make sure that they're given all the information so we can move on to the next age group. But my email is laura.maury@gmail.com, and if you have any questions about the youth programs and what we currently do to market them, you could email me. I'd be happy to have a discussion about that.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura, and thank you, Dennis. I think we're going to move on in the interest of time. I think that we've sparked some interest in a lot of really interesting topics. And I guess first and foremost, I'd like to thank you on behalf of Jim Ferguson, our district governor-elect, Donna Barrett, who is not on the call. She's in Israel tonight, but very much in tune with what we're doing tonight, and is very involved in our looking at the training schedule that we have mapped out for preparing for this exciting 2020 year. February 1st is our next meeting, and that is at multiple locations. It will be a face-to-face meeting, and I just invite you to watch for details on the district website. I'm sure Jim will be sending you details on that particular meeting. There will be sessions in the north and throughout the district, certainly around the Edmonton area. Following that, we will have another webinar on the Rotary Foundation, and that's Chapter 7. Again, I refer to your manual. I'd just like to make a comment that the manual will not be, we will not be going through the manual in those face-to-face trainings. So the idea is that we get you excited about some of these topics and ask you to dive into the particular chapters prior to coming to these face-to-face meetings. So February 1st, and then following that in March, we have March 20th, 21st, and that's when everybody meets in Edmonton. And that's when we ask you to bring your team to this particular event. So please mark your calendar, save the date, and a commercial for Jim. And Jim is very excited about the gathering in September in Edmonton at his district conference. Phenomenal speakers, phenomenal entertainment being lined up. So please don't, registration is certainly open. Now, one last question for you, and it's another poll question. We really would like to know from you, are you finding these webinars helpful? And do you like the Zoom training format? This is something that we haven't done a lot of in this district, and we're really trying to respect your time, but we also need to know how it feels on the other end. Is this something that's working for you? Would you like something different? Our district is vast, so we can't always travel to meet and get together, but I'm seeing that I'm just going to end this poll and share the results for everybody to see. I think from the people on the call, they felt fairly positive about this medium, the Zoom training format. So Thank you very much. Okay, so Jim, any final words before we sign off?
Just thanking everybody for attending the meeting tonight. And thank you, Jackie and Ken and Jeff and Laura for being in the meeting and being also the co-hosts of it. I think it was great to get together, and I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a great holiday season.
Guess it's that time of year, isn't it?
Jim, the Area 13 PEs will be in Grand Prairie for those face-to-face.
Okay, super.
Good.
Yeah, I was supposed to let you know yesterday.
Better late than never.
He said December 1st.
Yeah. Super.
So, any other comments out there? No. Okay. Well, thank you again. I think we'll
and you're going to send a note, Jim, about the recording. So
yeah,
because there are some that haven't. There's some that haven't been on it. So
for sure. Once I end the meeting,
Yep.
and get it uploaded to my YouTube account, then I'll send out an email with the
Great.
link to it. So,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
yeah, so happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you.
And I'm going to end the meeting.
Thank you, Jim.
Bye.
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye. You take care. Appreciate it.
Night.
Night.